Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. We'll talk today a little bit about disturbances at prisons. I spoke the other day about the potential for disturbances during these hot summer days that we are about to get. Don't forget there's a heat warning out for next week. And the prisons are going to be put under a great deal of stress. I did say that I could see, anybody can see. You don't have to be a psychic to see that, you don't have to be Madame Petrolengo from Blackpool Pier, you can actually just look at common sense and see the prisons are understaffed. They're overcrowded. It's going to be like 80 degrees in the shade. And the inmates ain't going to want to go back into this overcrowded cells, are they? On a hot summer's evening. And indeed, it appears that this argument was taken to a conclusion the other day on the 6th of June. Yeah, when there was a disturbance at HMP RISLEY near Warrington. It was reported in the Liverpool Echo of last night. That's the 7th. But apparently the staff at HMP RISLEY was seen in riot gear, that's the mufti stuff, going in to tackle a group of inmates that were failing to comply to directions, shall we say. Of course, you've got a problem. I previously mentioned this. If 50% of your staff are hostesses, 19-year-old, wet behind the ear females that are only just finishing reading the Bunty and suddenly find themselves walking the landings in a secure institution for male inmates, they're going to find it a little bit difficult to lay their hands on them and deal with them, because that's eventually what you do. And apparently that's what they did at RISLEY. Now, how they handled it, I don't know, but apparently they donned themselves up in riot gear and went in. It said in the Liverpool Echo that there were no injuries to staff, which is good. I mean, when I've been at the scrubs a couple of times and at Strangeways, staff were hit, bashed, kicked and all the rest of it, but no really what you'd call injuries. I mean, the thing is, in those days, you didn't consider being kicked in the shins or smacked in the nose a particular injury. It was just part of the day's work. But, I mean, these days, if it disrupts your mascara, yeah, or knocks your lipstick off, then, what are we going to do about that? Anyway, it's ridiculous what's happening at the moment in the prisons, and it's going to get worse, and this summer is going to see something of a boiling point. I don't want to encourage it, I want to discourage it, and I would like to see the prison service actually getting a grip and starting to remunerate the officers properly. As I say, they're paying staff £23,000-25,000 for working in extremely arduous conditions, when staff can get roughly the same amount of money for packing the shelves at Tesco's. What are you going to do? Are you going to risk your life in Strangeways jail? Yeah. Or are you going to go and pack sausages in Tesco's? I know what I'd bloody do these days. Back when I was in the prison service, it was considered to be a career. You had a proper structured pension scheme, and indeed it was worth working for, because you ended up with approximately 50% of your pay as your pension. So if you got to the end of 30 years service and you got they called it 80ths, 40 80ths, and you got about half of your pay, and you could draw the pension at 55. Nowadays, if you're an adult male, you can only draw it at 67. So not only have they got 19-year-old teenage hostesses, they've got virtual geriatrics patrolling the wings. And you wonder if there's going to be trouble. Oh, yes, there's going to be trouble. Anyway, here's a little ding-dong. Hey, don't forget to get my book, by the way. People have been leaving me reviews. I like that. It's good. Yeah, there you go. And the next one is out in July. Sean Atwood contacted me the other day to say it had been through the edit. It was now with the proofreader to make sure there's no typos. And then it was going to be published in July, both in 3 formats, in Kindle, in paperback, and in audio, using the same reader that read the first book in audio. Was an actor called Alan Turton. Anyway, now you've had the song dinger now. I'm not going to sing you a song. I'll sing you a little song for Paula in Glasgow. I belong to Glasgow, dear old Glasgow town, but there's something the matter with Glasgow, it's going round and round. I may be an ordinary working chap, as anyone here can see, but when I've had a couple of drinks on a Saturday, Glasgow belongs to me. There you go. I put a show on in Glasgow once at the Pavilion Theatre. It was called Stripperoke. The Ian Gordon, who was the manager of the theatre, was taken before the Bailey. That's like the chief magistrate in Glasgow. And I think we're going to charge him with public indecency, because Stripperoke was exactly what you might think it was. You know, instead of getting up on the stage and singing to a song, the audience got up on the stage and whipped the kit off. I wasn't performing, of course. I was the producer. And the comedian was a guy called Scully. Called himself Scully the Bully. He was a character. Anyway, this is a poem I'm going to read for you now. This is Rainbow Warrior. It's about, Rainbow Warrior is the Greenpeace vessel. Well, this is what I imagine would happen if we take the idea of a totally green environment to its ultimate conclusion. This is Rainbow Warrior, a poem by John G. Sutton. I'm a rainbow warrior, as green as they come, no chlorofluorocarbons perfume my bum. March to Aldermaston with CND, I support animal rights, just want to be free. I'm pro-conversation, conservation, anti-acid rain, a left-of-centre trendy with an over-simple brain. I'm gonna save the planet, end nuclear fusion, throw the reds and the blues into utter confusion when the proletariat all vote green and the rainbow warrior rules supreme. You'll be eating veg from an organic farm, saving the whales, wearing leaves to keep warm, making the world the place God planned when the rainbow warrior rules the land. We'll use no chemicals under the sun, in our homes fit for heroes, the battle's all won, no greenhouse effect to blight our lives, but lots and lots and lots of flies. There you are. Rainbow Warrior by John G. Sutton. And of course there would be lots of flies, because you wouldn't use any chemicals, disinfectants or anything like that to control them. That's Tales from the Jails today. Thank you, folks.